Hey yo, Bladrins, welcome back to your new Lightning Quick Repairs episode. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 that I've got right here. And you can see it's absolutely shattered to bits, right? So you can see this very deep gouge right here where it's just absolutely shattered. It looks like something fell on it. You can see a few over here and here. And if I actually unlock it, there's nothing on here really. And let's put the brightness up. You can see dead pixel circle right there. Now, what I've done is I've gone on to AliExpress. Yes, I've gone on to AliExpress and I've bought myself a replacement display but without the frame because I've got myself an idea. Now, this idea consists of putting this screen on a new housing, right? So I've got myself a brand new housing that is blue colored and I'm going to be putting this screen on there today. Alright, so the screen that I've got right here works fine, but apparently it's got a slight issue. People on AliExpress sell these screens where they might have a line or like a dead pixel area. My one that I bought specifically, it has little blob just right on the top left corner, right? And I'll flash up a screenshot right here now that you can see, and I think I spent £20 on it, so it's not too bad, right? And it took maybe 2-3 weeks to get it, so it's not too bad. I've got myself the adhesive. I just put it in this little box, so that I got off of eBay. I've got myself the rework kit or the back adhesive for the back panel, and I've got myself the beautiful blue housing here. And last but not least, actually I think it is the least, I've got myself a blue back glass. You can see me there, hello. So this apparently is a used back glass and it's got like a whole IMEI number on it. Obviously the IMEI won't be matching, but I don't care, right, as long as this works. And the fingerprint sensor will stay black, so that's not a problem. S Pen I did not bother with because those are uselessly expensive. So let's put all of this stuff away. Right, so as you can see here is the actual phone. It is fully working, and I'm not going to be running any tests on it because I've tested it already and it's just a screen. So we're going to first get our heat plate right here, and I'm just going to turn that on. It's set to 120 right now. Okay, so the phone is hot enough to finally be taken apart now. Goodness, the amount of time I had to leave that on there for, over and over again. But now we can actually take this thing apart. Ow, that's hot. There we go, finally. Holy cow, that was long. So now we can set this off to the side and we can actually start unscrewing now. And let's get a Phillips bit and we can start unscrewing all of this. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is just disconnect that fingerprint sensor right there. There we are. And this whole thing will just come right off. Now I'm just going to leave it off to the side there. There we go. And we can start unscrewing all of this. Okay, so now that we've got this half of the screws removed, now we can get ourselves a little pry tool right here and we could actually pry this off. So let's see, I'm just trying to, okay, let's get this tweezer. There we go, some clipping. Oh, don't push it too far, otherwise you'll break the motherboard. And I just nudged the camera. Come on, there we go. And there we are. So we can set that aside and let's disconnect the battery. Perfect. Okay, so now that the battery is disconnected, we can also unscrew this side, the speaker side. And they all use the same screws, by the way, so you don't need to worry about mixing and matching them. There we go. So now we can actually disconnect this. So we should just unclip. There we are. Okay, so just before we do anything, just before we strip this phone apart any further than this, what I want to do is I want to test out this brand new ish display that we've got right here. And the first test I'm going to go to is do an edge lighting test to make sure that all edges are not cut off and all of that, typing test, all of that kind of stuff, right? So what we can do is we can use our tweezers and we could just carefully unplug that, and we can unplug this cable as well. It's a bit scary because it's my first time working on a Note 8, but I'm sure we'll be okay. So let's just bend this back a little bit. Let's get our new screen, and I hope this does not interfere with it. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that it's fully sealed, which it is. Connect up the battery, get this thing there. Okay, and let's turn this on. Okay, so apparently my screen's got a line. I'm more than happy with that. And let's see what we've got here. So touch, I'm gonna have to be very careful. It looks like actually this bezel is bigger. No, it's definitely bigger. Okay, yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's cut off. It's completely cut off. I don't understand why they have to put on a new glass. I really don't understand. And I'm really not happy living with that either, because that's going to piss me off. Because I've got some severe OCD. Even on the thicker side, that corner doesn't show up. That's interesting. Absolutely interesting. Alright guys, so after a lot of testing on the screen, I had to leave it for the next day. So here we are again. We've got the phone right here, and I've taken off the back, so on and so forth. And what I have actually decided was I'm going to put all of this into the new frame. And I'm going to test out the screen properly, because doing over here and trying to do a typing test and so on and so forth, it was miserable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything into the new frame, and I'm not going to stick the new screen down, but I'm going to seat it into the new frame so then I can actually do like a proper test. Because I decided that if it works well for what I need to use it for as my main phone, basically, because I'm wanting to use this for a while, then I'll more than happily live with it. So let's get started with that. Let's not waste any time. So let's disconnect the screen again. So where's our tweezers? Here, don't be using tweezers on these cables, but I just find it easier for me because I can be very delicate with the cables. Here we go. So there's our two flex cables right there. Battery's already unplugged. And we've got our S Pen cable, so let's disconnect that as well. There we are, that's disconnected. And we've got a few flex cables up here as well. There's one, there's two, and there's one just over here. There's three, and there's another one here. That's four. And let's disconnect this antenna as well. That's five. So I'm just going to deroute this. Oh, and one more, six. There we are. So I'm just going to deroute that cable. There we go. So now all the cables have been unplugged, and I do see there's one black screw just right here next to that flex cable, just right there. So let's unscrew that, and obviously that's separate from all the screws that we have taken apart prior, so this is one of them times where you don't mix it up. And let's get ourselves a SIM eject pin. So I've just got myself like a little paper clip here because my SIM eject pin broke fantastically. So let's eject that. Let's get ourselves one of these little plastic spudges and see if we can remove this motherboard. There's a little gap on this side, so there we go. That just lifts up there. Just gonna move these cables out of the way. Okay, that comes out, one of the cameras comes out. Oh, it's one of these cables. Here we go. There we go. And in regular Samsung style, we got to hinge the motherboard out and disconnect the cable that goes to the back, and this is for the dock connector. And there's our motherboard out, so we can safely store that to the side, and we've got all of this mess right here. I'm going to remove this bottom portion of the phone. So if I move all my tools out of the way, let's unscrew all of this. So let's start with the headphone jack. There it is. And and I also missed a screw just right here, so let's quickly unscrew that. And I can see the board moving as well, which is good. So now, if we use our tweezers, there should be just ever so slightly a tiny bit of adhesive, so we could just unstick that. Oh, there we are. Here we go. This should all just, oh, there we go. There is our there is our USB port right there, and that does not look damaged. Now we're gonna work on the top portion of this phone where you can see some of these little bits and bobs here. Actually, first thing I'm gonna do is remove this vibration motor, so I'm just gonna use my tweezers on that. Here we go. You can see I've got it under, and there we go. Gonna try take it out as intact as possible, and that's already gone to that's not gone to plan. You can see it's just coming out now though, so that's all good there. It's just held down by a tiny bit of adhesive. There we go. Actually, it has come out mostly intact. It's just a little copper tape bit there. Yeah, just be very careful of these. So I should be very careful of that. This thing just uses a bit of adhesive, so we could just do that there and pull it out. But you got to be very careful with these, as these can just break. But I hope I don't damage it. Oh, never mind, I'm good. And what we do need to do, however, is take out the battery. So let's just get that on the heat plate, set for a few minutes, and let's try to remove this battery right here. Okay, so that's off to the side now. While that's heating up, let's get our brand new housing right here. And I'm not going to stick down this new screen. I'm just going to seat it in place so that we could just use it for testing properly. So we've got 2 slots just right here. So let's just put, it's going to be a bit awkward, but let's try get that in there. There we go. Okay, that's in there. Let's get everything inside. One thing I'm also going to do is get my toothbrush really quickly and clean out this earpiece. And I'm going to also keep an eye on the battery as well, because I don't want to burn the screen and kill the battery in the process. So what I'll do is I'll still adhere down the parts, so that's not really an issue. There we go. That's in there right now. There we are. And this essay is really hot now, so let's just, oh my lord, before you know it this video is gonna end up of having a new screen that's fully working to having a screen that's cracked. Oh boy. So let's get our pry tool, and there we go. Having a heat plate makes easy work of removing batteries, which is awesome. I say that and then I can't get the battery out. There we go. There we go. Here we are. And the adhesive is perfectly fine. I'll deal with that. And let's continue dropping in all the pieces. So let's get our smaller front camera. There we are. That's in place now. And let's get this thing, and I'm just gonna make sure there's no dust there. And let's just seat this back in place. There we are, that's in there now. Let's get our coin style vibration motor, and let's put that back in place as well. That's in there. So let's get our USB-C dot connector, and actually the first thing I'm going to do is just give that USB port a quick cleaning, because there's a bit of dust that's going around the edges and I don't like that. Yeah, that all looks good. Right, so let's seat in our USB-C port first. There we are. I can feel that. Oops, I can feel that go in. And let's push that down. Ah, there we are. I just needed to click it back in place. Okay, I think that's fine. I think once we screw it back down, I'll be perfectly fine. So that just pushes back down, and so does this, and this will get all screwed down. So let's get a screwdriver and let's screw this. So the first thing I'm going to screw down is a USB port, and you can see that little pin that's sticking out. That's normal, by the way, forgot to mention that. And now that that's in place, we could just connect that in there. Perfect. So the bottom half is all complete now. Now what we can do is we can put in our motherboard. So the first thing we have to do, of course, is connect the dot connector. So this one will be a bit weird. Yeah, I've got it. Perfect. Yep, I've got it. Alright, and now we could just carefully seat the motherboard back, making sure we don't trap any of the cables around it. The only thing that's going to be a bit of a pain in the arse is the cameras, so I think what I'll do is I'll take these out for now and I'll insert them at the end, and I've just got to reroute the cables again. Okay, I think that's connected. Didn't really make a nice click or anything like that, but okay, we'll test that out anyways. So that's all connected there, and what we can now do is we can route these cables back in its original little homes. There we are, there's one. And there's two. Fantastic. So all these cables are now finally routed. So let's connect the display now. There we are. There's both our cables connected. Let's connect the S pin as well. There we are. And that's basically it. I'm going to screw down the motherboard just so it doesn't fall out. Let's just do that right here. Awesome. And let's connect up this battery. Now I've got to be very careful because obviously do remember the screen is not seated down. And I'm going to get my SIM tray so it holds the motherboard down. Here we are. And plastics speaker. There we go. That's all clipped now, and the fingerprint sensor. I'll just put this black back glass on just to keep everything down basically. This is very scary, but let's turn it on. There we go. So far it looks to be pretty good. So I'm just gonna do a quick test. This is a twat. Yeah, I mean, it's actually really nice, and it is a proper OLED as well. It is an original OLED because the blacks are proper black. I'm happy to live with it. I actually am happy to live with it because I did not care about anything else. If the screen's touch inputs were crap, goodbye. You know what I mean? And I only spent £20 on this, which is not bad for a screen, which is not bad for a Note 8 screen with just a line on it. I'm happy with that. I'm not happy about the bezels being ever so slightly thicker, but I can get used to it. Okay, so we've got the S Pen out. Yay! That's all working there. So I'm just gonna grab that. Oh. To be fair, the nib on this thing is absolutely chewed up. You can see that there, that nib is finished. Cameras, I just realized. Cameras. You can see my ugly mug there, hello. And that all looks to be good. Obviously you can see the black part because obviously the screen's not in place fully yet. So that looks to be all good. I'm just gonna quickly switch that as well. And they look to be very good cameras. Perfect. Okay. Let's seat this all down then, shall we? So I'm gonna turn this phone off really quickly. There we are, and interestingly, the color has changed. I'm gonna get a microfiber cloth, and because I've touched the edges, this black part of it, I'm just gonna quickly give that a wipe because I don't want no fingerprints or nothing coming up behind the camera, because once you place this down, it's not coming off. So the seller has also given me additional adhesive, but I don't think I'm going to be requiring this. But what I could use on possibly the battery, what instead I've got is this, right? So if I just take all of this out right now, I don't think I need to use all of it, but I might do because of the edges. So let's take all of this out of here. It's got adhesive already on there. So if I show you right now, right, it's got adhesive in that area. For example, this bit right here, it's already got adhesive. So you know what, I won't use this then. And the adhesive does look to be thicker on this one as well in terms of width. So I won't use that, I'll save that. But what I do need to use is definitely this. There. Oh. There. Got it. Right. So that hasn't been peeled back, so I can still push this down. And I am actually very, very proud of that. Yeah, I'm actually very proud of that. Now this corner, just push down like that. Perfect. So let's just push that all there. There we are, that's adhered on now. Awesome. And with my fingernail, I'm just gonna do the corners. And let's do the same for this side as well. There we go. And what we have to do is we have to route this cable through, so that's going to be a bit awkward. This is a lot scarier than I thought, I'm not even going to lie to you. There, in. Oh, holy cow, was that frightening. That was absolutely frightening. Now that that's in there and that's flush. Alright, so the last clip that you saw was me putting on the display onto the frame, and now it's basically been the entire day and I'm coming back in the night to finish this off. As you can see, it's got a crap ton of rubber bands on it, and I had to take out the motherboard, as you guys know. But now we can take these rubber bands off and get the whole phone reassembled and fully finished. So yeah, it's been sitting in rubber bands for basically the entire day, so I think it's had more than enough time to settle down in place, so that's good. So let's just take all of these rubber bands off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to speed through this because you've seen me putting this phone back together a fair bit already, so I'm just going to speed through this now. Okay, so finally the phone has been put back together and I've tested it as well, and it is fully all functional. Right, the front cameras are also functional. Yeah, I had to put some adhesive in this area on the other side of this plastic because the camera kept coming off, so I just put some adhesive down and that held it down. So now that this is finished, what I'm going to do is set this off to the side carefully like that. And let's get our wrong back glass, this one right here. And this is what we need to work on now. So the adhesive on the frame, there is no adhesive on the frame, so I've got new adhesive for that. But what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to work on this, and I'm going to take off all of this adhesive, clean it all up, and I'm going to apply it on camera. So I'll see you guys in just a short while. Give me like 400 hours. Alright, so a lot of time has passed now, and I've got the original fingerprint sensor with this. I didn't get new adhesive for this unfortunately, but we'll have to make do. But that's not going to be too much of a problem. So let's just push that all back in there now. That's in there, and that's not moving, so that's good. Let's see. There we are. Now it's fully aligned, so that's not moving anywhere. And I'm going to give that a proper clean as well afterwards. But it looks good so far. And now let's get our adhesive. So here is our adhesive. And where's the phone itself? Here. So the way this works is I'm aligning it with the top. So you can see this cut out right here, right? We want to align that. So if I just roughly show you, it's going to basically be like that. And you can also see it lines up with the screws. So if I wanted to flip that, that basically means that's how it's going to go. Like that. So let's get this done somehow. It's a bit scary. So now we can just close this all up. So let's do that. Piece of dirt. And let's finally finish this up, shall we? And that back glass needs a clean. Right. Done. Right. There we go. There. That back glass is flush, and oh my lord, does that look beautiful. Look at that. I mean, you know what, let's just quickly give that a wipe, and would you look at that, there's our Note 8. Fantastic. Now yes, this is a bit scratched up, but I don't care about that. Look at that. Yes, the bezels are ever so slightly thicker for the top and the bottom. I'm going to turn it to light mode just so you can see. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can see it right there. It's just by a millimeter, but it's okay. I'll deal with that. And as long as I can access all the buttons, I use navigation swipe gestures anyways. Yes, I am absolutely happy. I am so happy right now. Alright, and that's our phone done. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hold on. There we go. That's our phone done. Thank you guys very much for watching this Note 8 repair. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.